The hallways of high school are usually filled with the scent of old books and teenage dreams. And for Yin, Zemo, and Bian Chun, those dreams were painted in the soft hues of a first love. They were the couple everyone whispered about, the quiet, studious girl, and the boy whose gaze only ever softened when it landed on her. Their love wasn't loud. It was found in shared notes, stolen glances during lunch, and the electric touch of hands meeting under a library table. It was pure, it was simple, and it felt invincible. And for Zemo and Chun, the world collapsed the moment their parents announced they were getting married. In a single afternoon, the boy Zemo loved became the brother she had to live with. The girl Chun adored became the sister he was expected to protect. The legal bond of their parents turned their romantic sanctuary into a house of mirrors, where every reflection reminded them of what they could no longer have. They moved into a new home, a beautiful house that felt more like a prison of propriety. Suddenly, they weren't just two teenagers in love. They were two strangers forced to share a dinner table, a hallway, and a secret that felt like it was burning a hole through their hearts. Imagine the tension of living under the same roof with the one person you want, but are told you cannot touch. Every morning began with the agonizing ritual of seeing each other across the breakfast table, under the watchful, happy eyes of their parents, who had no idea they were sitting on a powder keg of emotions. The air in the house became heavy, thick with the unsaid. It was a reminder of a fire that refused to die out. They threat to be good children. He threw himself into basketball and stayed out late, hoping the physical exhaustion would drown out the longing. But coming home was the hardest part. He would see Zemo's bedroom light under the door, and the urge to knock to just hold her like he used to was a physical ache. Zemo, on the other hand, retreated into her books, but her eyes would always wander to the door, waiting for the sound of his footsteps. It acted like oxygen, making the attraction more intense, more desperate, and infinitely more dangerous. The pull between them was like a rubber band stretched to its breaking point. There were moments of quiet rebellion, a late-night encounter in the kitchen, where the silence was so loud it felt like a scream. No words were needed. The way Chun's jaw would tighten when Zemo mentioned a guy at school, or the way Shimo's breath would hitch when Chun stood to close it, was a language of longing that their parents were completely blind to. As the months passed, the facade of being siblings began to crack. The push and pull became a daily battle, trying to convince themselves that they had moved on, and the next, a single look would shatter all their defenses. It was a game of emotional chicken, where both were waiting to see who would break first. They were trapped in a paradox. They were closer than ever, yet further apart than they'd ever been. Teenage years are already a whirlwind of hormones and confusion, but for Zemo and Chun, it was a storm they had to navigate in total darkness. They had to hide their old photos, delete their old messages, and pretend that the history they shared meant nothing. But history isn't so easily erased. Every corner of the city held a memory: the park where they first kissed, the cafe where they planned their future. Now, those memories felt like ghosts haunting their new, perfect blended family. The Geolak, or the internal turmoil, grew into something uncontrollable. It wasn't just about a crush anymore. It was about the fundamental unfairness of their situation. Why should they sacrifice their happiness for a bridge they didn't build? When Chun would protect Zemo from a bully or help her with her chores, was it out of brotherly duty? Or was it the protective instinct of a man who still considered her his world? The lines were gone, replaced by a gray area that felt both intoxicating and terrifying. Their secrets started to leak into their reality like ink on a white cloth. Small slips of the tongue, looks that lasted a second too long. The way they avoided each other as eyes during family outings, it was only a matter of time before the pressure cooker exploded. The forbidden tag didn't just make it harder, it made the stakes life-altering. This story isn't just about a forbidden love troper. It's a deep dive into the human heart's refusal to be governed by rules. It's about that raw, unfiltered teenage emotion that believes love can conquer anything, even when the law and society say otherwise. No matter how much water you throw on them, as you watch their journey unfold, you can't help but feel the weight of their choices. You feel the suffocating atmosphere of that house and the desperate need for an escape. It's a story of two souls who were meant to be together, forced into a puzzle where they no longer fit. The question isn't whether they love each other. That was never in doubt. The real question is, how much are they willing to burn down to finally be together? In the end, Zemo and Bian Chun are a testament to the fact that the heart doesn't care about titles or last names, or legal documents. It only knows what it wants, and sometimes, the thing it wants most is the one thing it's never supposed to have.